and former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO, retired four-star Navy Admiral James Stavridis. He is Chief International Analyst for NBC News. And Admiral, we will start with you on what you saw yesterday, the importance of alliances, and what was a historic day, the biggest prisoner swap since the Cold War.
Quite remarkable across the board. And of course, I've been in and out of Andrews Air Force Base so many times. I can't think of a better day on the tarmac at Andrews Air Force Base, which has seen more than its share of dignified transfers and the new arrival of various heads of state. Really a marvelous moment to see this, and you're showing some spectacular photos right now. Point two that struck me, you know, we always think of NATO correctly as a war-fighting alliance. We go to war. We're in Afghanistan, the Balkans, Syria, Iraq, counter-piracy. We fight alongside each other. Here's an example of an alliance practicing diplomacy together and doing it both at scale across all of these nations that pulled together, but also doing it retail, making sure we bring out these Americans. And I love the point the president made that these are also Russian dissidents who are being taken out. That's standing up. That's walking the walk for America. And third and finally, you know, you kind of ask the question, why now? Why did this all come together? There's never a specific answer to that. I think that Putin probably heard the election coming. I think secondly, there's a sense of all of us coming together in the West at the moment because of Ukraine. And then thirdly, there's kind of, in any negotiation, there's a critical mass moment when the deal makers sit around the table and close the switch. And Jonathan, you're right to highlight Joe Biden and his personal ability to do that. I saw it on full display when I was Supreme Allied Commander and he'd come as the vice president. We really saw a master diplomat at work here. A very good day for America.
Admiral, question for you. One of the debates going on is how to understand this. Was this just a narrow, cynical trade set up by Putin of if you will, guilty people for innocent people? Or does this tell us something about him, about his potential willingness to cut deals, to basically engage in diplomacy? Could this, for example, in over the next 2 years, all the nuclear arms control agreements expire? We've got all sorts of issues in the Middle East, obviously Ukraine, where people are beginning to talk about diplomacy. Do you see anything in this that leads you to say, just maybe, as difficult as Putin is, as much of an outlaw as he can be, that there still might be a potential for diplomacy here?
I absolutely do. And let's start with Evan Gorshkov sitting in jail. What's he doing? He's playing chess with his cellmate. That's the Russian national game. If there's a universal gold medal in the idea of Russia, it's probably rooted in chess. And Putin is an heir to that. He loves moving those pieces around the chessboard. He thinks he's a combination of Henry Kissinger and Al Capone all put together. And so he will, Richard, absolutely cut a deal. And we've seen him do that. And frankly, he did a very similar kind of deal here to get Victor Bout back. And that was a year ago to trade another American who was taken illegally, Brittany Griner. So yes, I think it can be expanded, a word we're using a lot today, maybe expand the idea of Putin. And then secondly, I think it's important here, by the way, no one said it yet, but I'll say it, Americans, do not go to Russia. Do not put yourself in this position. And I don't care if you're an academic or a journalist or a wonderful Russian American with family there. This is not a good moment to go because you could very well end up as one of Vladimir Putin's chess pieces.
Yeah, some U.S. officials made that point yesterday as well. Retired four-star Navy Admiral James Stavridis, thank you for joining us again this morning. We really appreciate it.